Um, Today I'm going to make a short video. I'm here at the office. It's Sunday. Hope everybody's having a great day. I just want to, I deal a lot in the topics. I talk in a lot of the political sites with a lot of different people. A lot of things going on in our country today, a lot of confusion it seems. One of the things I want to touch on today is in relation to America's form of government. I go in these topics. I listen to these politicians right now, and right now we have all these Democratic politicians running out and pitching their run for the presidency here. And in topic and conversation when I'm watching these, I'm hearing a lot of people, and I'm hearing these people who are even running. It's a shame when you consider that people who are running for government, a position as high as the president, doesn't even know the form of government that we have in this country. Just pathetic, just totally pathetic. And when you look, like the other day, just real quick, I know the teachers are out right now and they're claiming they want to raise. Well, let me tell you something. When you go online and you're in multiple forums and you talk about many political things and you see the posterity, the youth of this country coming into these topics and they're so confounded about the truth, trust me, you don't deserve a raise. If you're a teacher, you should be ashamed of yourself in this country. Totally ashamed of yourself, because the posterity has been failed in being able to be giving or presented with a proper education to who they are as Americans and what this country was founded upon. But with that said, back to the issue is that democracy. You hear all these runners right now, and you hear like Nancy Pelosi, and now we have Pocahontas. Now she's running for president, and she too, with democracy, democracy. This is all we hear from them, democracy. And sadly, I've even heard our own President Donald Trump misrepresent America as a democracy, in our democracy. So I want to clear all this up once and for all, okay? Because and when I go in these places, I have these comments, and then I have these young kids coming to me, and they're arguing with me because I tell them, don't say it's a democracy. We're a Republican form of government, not a democracy. No, that's not true. My teacher said this one said, and well, you hear the political so-called leaders of our country constantly saying it, and they're confounding the posterity of this country. They're confounding them greatly. I wind up in arguments with them about a thing that should be common sense knowledge to any American child or adult in this country, is that America is a Republican form of government, not a democracy. This is an unquestionable fact. But to give you an example, when I say to these kids, where do you get this? They pop up to me such things as this. This is one of the things one of them sent me that, talks about here. You can see the heading on it right here. If you don't see me, I'm right here in this little box being moved around. The United States of America, republic or a democracy? This article was written by Paul J. Richards, okay? Or is that the image? I don't know. The person who wrote the article, that's what it says at the top. I don't know who it is. I'm assuming that's who it was, because the only person I see here mentioned is Paul J. Richards. So I'm assuming that this is the person who wrote this. And this guy is when you read this article, he's got America as a democracy. He's got a really good argument of America being a democracy. He even references a lot of things about, the Federalist letters and things of that. He goes back, to the times of Madison, Jefferson, in the founding times of the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence doesn't mention either democracy or Republican. It doesn't mention anything. All authority from the Declaration of Independence rests with us, the people. So there is no government form even mentioned. We're the authority of all as the people. But anyway, it goes back. He jumps around some in the Constitution a little bit, and as well in this other article here, democracy or republic. Again, you see these articles. This is an Encyclopedia Britannica. And you got many. I read probably every book of the Encyclopedia Britannica when I was a kid. I'm talking like every book. I spent hours upon hours. I was a history nut as a kid. And when I see the Encyclopedia Britannica, I just went from A all the way to Z and then started over again. I was fascinated with world history as a kid and world culture. So and I still am to this day. But here again, you have a very reputable, formerly reputable till this point now, because now it's no longer reputable because they're on the same band here about, America possibly being a democracy. And so these kids, they these are the things they give me. These are the things they give me. These articles that are put out by these reputable, they say to me, we don't want nothing off Wikipedia. Wikipedia's a scam. And this is what you hear. And they're like, well, this is Encyclopedia Britannica. And then they're like, this is the Washington Post. And, these are supposed to be reputable. But this is what the president's talking about with fake news. Just totally fake news written by total educated idiots here that have no idea what they're talking about. I mean, in the article, the way, this is the problem. I got to say this. It's like the Wizard of Oz. That's if you don't understand the Wizard of Oz is exactly what we're dealing with today. It's a place where you have this pretend to be wizard who has the ability to hand out paper brains, paper hearts, and paper courage, because that's what the colleges are doing. This person has very good, way better articulate ability to write than I do. I know that. But when you're somebody who's like me, which I can't say education-wise, I hold the standard to him as an education, because I hardly ever went to school when I was a kid. I actually, in all truth, have only ever gone to school for 5 years. I started to go to school when I was 13. I graduated high school when I was 18, so I attended school for 5 years. I started in the 6th grade. I did 11th and 12th in the same year and graduated 1 year early, but, that's another story. But I'm just saying, I'm no major English major or anything like that. So, I mean, I like his writing is very classy, I guess, whatever. But the knowledge behind what appears is idiotic. It's stupid. This man is an idiot. So anyway, both of the men who write these articles, I am shocked that Encyclopedia Britannica even put out such crap like this that's so full of it. But anyway, these kids, then they come back and they say to me, well, where do you get that America is a republic? And I recommend to them that, this is the Declaration of Independence, which I'll say does not mention democracy, democratic, or republican in it. But when I'm questioned about when it goes to here with Thomas Jefferson, I present back to them some statements here, which, I put here, the Journal of American Revolution, was a statement in here where Jefferson had mentioned, when he was asked about what form of government did he give us? And he said, a republic, if you can keep it. This is a fact that was said by him. Right here, if you look, you can see it says, what sort of government delegates had created. His answer, it was right here, the convention, Benjamin Franklin was approached by a group of citizens asking what sort of government the delegates had created. His answer was, a republic, if you can keep it. This is a fact, and then when I present this evidence to these kids, I get told, well, that's your opinion. And this gets me too, because like I say, all you teachers are talking about how you want to raise, okay? These kids should know this. This should be basic knowledge to these kids. This should be, my granddaughter, I know, knew this at like 4. I'm pretty sure my grandson, who's going to be 5 soon, he'll know it before he's 5. I'm sure of that because my daughter-in-law makes sure of it. But, I just can't believe that these are high school and like first-year college students that I'm having this debate with that are insisting that America is a democracy. And they're arguing things as such as the Journal of the American Revolution here. And so I'll say to them, okay, well, how about we put up a perspective on the Constitution, a republic, if you can keep it. This was an article done by the National Constitutional Center. So, and again, I get from them, that's you talk about fake news. We're putting up the Encyclopedia Britannica, and and I'm like, okay, well, it all comes down to the facts of truth, which I always call 4-4. Okay, 4-4. And what is 4-4? 4-4 is the proof. The only proof that I need, that I think everybody should know. Here, 4-4 is, let me find it. Here we go. Right here. 4-4 is the Republican form of government guaranteed in Article 4, Section 4 of the United States Constitution. Okay, and what that guarantee states is that Section 4, The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislature or the executive when the legislature cannot be convened against domestic violence. Okay? So understand in seeing this, this is in the Constitution. Section 4, okay? It's in the Constitution. Democracy, democratic, that word does not exist in either the Declaration of Independence nor anywhere in the Constitution is it even mentioned. Nowhere in the Constitution is it even mentioned. Republican is mentioned. And it is mentioned in Section 4, the United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government, not a democracy. So I think it's very important that everyone understand this is not my opinion. This is not my ignorance of wanting to face the truth. This is a fact. It's a fact I knew at the age of like 6 years old and didn't even go to school. I knew that from reading on my own, which most everything too. No one influenced me to be the way I am. No one indoctrinated me to be the way I am. No one put their ideology or ideas into my head to be the way I am. Understand, I really didn't start going to school till I was like 13 years old. My whole form up was self-educated as a child. I learned to read when I was just approaching 5 years old on my own. And I spent most of my free time in libraries reading once I learned to read. I was just fascinated. I wanted to know everything. By the time I graduated high school, I had my own opinions already. And now I'm 53 years old. And believe me, when I look back at some of my own opinions, I can understand some of these kids why they're so stupid. Because I can look back at myself when I was that naive and that stupid myself when I was younger to ideas that I had. But the one thing of a principle I would like for everyone to consider, it's something I always say. Know this fact. You will always be able to prove a lie to be a lie with the truth. But you can never prove the known truth to be a lie with a lie. Because the truth will always reveal the lie. That's a principle since I was a young kid of 9 or 10 years old I lived by. It's a principle I established then as a young kid because I grew up in a place you really couldn't trust people. And even throughout life, I've learned no matter how streetwise or wise you think you are, there's people in this world still even fool me. So, you know, there's no limit to how wise or how knowledgeable you can become. But that's one principle I can assure you will never fail you. It's a fact. You will always be able to prove a lie with the truth. But you can never prove the known truth to be a lie with a lie. Because that truth will always reveal the lie. This right here, Section 4, remember, 4 of the United States Constitution, as it reads, not only in print like this, I can read in cursive writing. Back when I was younger, I taught myself how to read in cursive writing. I know how to read and write in cursive writing. And today, these kids are being deprived of the understanding of that. But I can tell you right now, this is word for word in the cursive original writing, which I have seen myself, too, as a kid. I was fascinated with going to Washington, D.C. and seeing all the museums. I grew up in New Jersey. It was just a hop, skip, and a ferry ride over to Washington. I used to go as much as I could and spend my time in those libraries reading. I loved going through the Federal Archives and seeing the original letters and documents and things. You know, it's just amazing that today you can go online and see all this stuff online, you know, right in your own living room on a computer. Back when I was younger, if you want to see this stuff, it was like a half-day trip out to Washington with the subways and the ferries and what have you, and you didn't get back home until 9, 10 o'clock at night. Today you can pull it all up on your computer, but yet everybody is ignorant to the truth. You have the world of knowledge at your fingertips, but nobody knows what's really going on. It's just amazing how much access everybody has to information, but is so unaware of the truth. But anyway, I just wanted to clear that up. Article 4 of the United States Constitution states very clearly, which if we were to go here and you go down Section 4 to the Constitution, which we'll go over here, we'll do it. We'll search for Republican, and this is the Constitution right here. And you can see right here it is Section 4. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislature or the executive when the legislature cannot be convened against domestic violence. Okay, so as you can see, it is in the Constitution. Section 4:4. Remember, 4:4. That's all you got to remember, 4:4. And it's right there. Right there. You can see it. Okay? And if you were to search here, which we'll do up here, I'm sure you can see on my screen, all this is being recorded. So we're going to search for Democrat. Oh, you hear that beep? You hear that beep? You know why that's beeping? It don't exist. Democrat, that's what I got up here. Democrat. Do you see it? Right here, it doesn't exist. Democratic doesn't exist. We'll try democracy. See if that exists. Democracy. No, doesn't exist. The Constitution does not have Democrat, Democratic, or democracy anywhere. Nowhere. Not even in a footnote does it say those words anywhere. But it does say Republican. So understand, America is a free republic. Okay, and a republic is one of a form of government in where we, the people, are the authority over that of who we entrust to govern for us. Okay, they govern at our will. We are the authority. And this is a republic, a constitutional republic. We have a constitution. The government is not the authority of what designates to us what we will and will not do. It does not tell us what we will and will not do. Our Constitution tells them what are consented to them powers that we allow them to have. They don't tell us what powers we have. This is a very big difference between a democracy and where in a democracy, by the majority rule of those entrusted as government, get to tell you what you're going to do, what you can and can't have. We are not a democracy. So let's get this cleared up. Let's get this straight. I hope this video helps everyone. And obviously, I doubt anyone really can argue because, like I say, it's very clear right here. If I type Republican to find Section 4:4 of the United States Constitution, states it very clear. Not just as a nation, but every state. Pay close attention. The United States shall guarantee to every state. So understand in truth, any state right now claiming to be a democracy, which I want to go into a little more detail here, is actually a traitor to this nation. And that's a fact because you know what? There was only one time in this world that there stood two presidents and two vice presidents in a divided nation and where there was two governments, two government forms. And that was in the Civil War. And in the Civil War, the Democrats of the democracy, they tried to form a democracy, and they did form for a brief time a democracy, and divided from the United States, the Republic of the Free United States of America. And they were known as the Democratic Confederate Slave States. Okay, that's who you Democrats are. You are traitors to this country. In that time, as Democrats, you tried to form a democracy. The Free Republic of the Republicans beat you in the Civil War, freed the minorities in this country from slavery, and we established ourselves as what we are, the Free Republic of these United States of America. And we will stay the Free Republic of these United States of America, and we will not tolerate any democracies in this country. This is it. And anybody who is right now an elected official, in my opinion, that states that they're going to have a democracy in this country, you're committing treason. And I think it's time that we, the people, demand of our representatives in this country, those of our government and authority, including the FBI, the CIA, and definitely the general at arms up there in Washington, that when these words are uttered, someone needs to start bringing impeachment charges and remove these people from our government for treason. Because the last time they wanted the democracy, it led to a civil war in this country. Okay? They were the Confederate slave states, and they wanted to keep slavery and protect slave owners' rights and suppress the minorities in this country. And then even following the Civil War, the biggest mistake we ever made was allowing the Democrats back into our government form and even giving them consent to vote in anything political in this country. There was a time after the Civil War we banned them from being in our government, banned them and took from them the right to vote because they were traitors. Okay, and it's obvious that they still are in pursuit of that of their democracy when we look at the way they're talking today, and we look at the things that are going on today, and we look at the insanity of these things. And when everybody should be very concerned when the posterity of this country, these children, these kids, and these are kids in college that I'm talking with in these debates. They're in their first, or some of them are in their second year of college, and they don't even know the history of their own country. It's very, very scary. But anyway, there's our facts. As you can see, Section 4.4, I didn't want to make a real long video here, just want to get this fact out, okay, about that America is definitely a Republican nation and that we are guaranteed a Republican form of government, not a democracy. I hope everyone has a great Sunday, and I hope this video goes viral and that everybody really makes sure people learn the truth, especially the idiots who are on the Democratic side right now running for president, talking about how they're going to make this democracy so good. Well, I got news for you. You want to make a democracy good, get the hell out of our country. Go over to some place that's a democratic nation, and you can run for party over there, and you can make their democracy good, because this here in America is a republic. It's going to stay a Republican nation, and believe that it's going to stay. Okay, so get your facts straight and stop confounding these children and stop lying to people. I'm sick of it, really. People, we need to start stepping up and talking out. We need to start stepping up and talking out. We need to take our place as Americans. You hear me? We need to step up. And we need to start doing like what I'm doing right here. Make it known. Make it known. Because I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm sick of it. But everybody have a great Sunday. I hope this helps. Enjoy it. Share it. Have fun with it. Have a great day.